Hello, I'm Scott Norman, Executive Director of the Texas Association of Builders. I want to welcome you to another edition of our Texas Builder Report from Austin, Texas. This week that we're recording this is an important week because this Friday will be the 60th day of the legislative session. That is an important marker, not for necessarily just how far along we are, but what it means as to when the legislature can now really get down to business. It's an important deadline. During the first 60 days, only those matters that the governor has deemed an emergency item may be brought up for consideration by the legislature. It is also the deadline, the 60th day, for bills to be filed, and it's only with very special circumstances that bills are filed after that date. So following this Friday, the universe of legislation to be considered, at least in original bills, we will know, and we've been successful in getting a number of our bills filed, with more getting filed this week. And so on our next Texas Builders Report, we'll give you a detailed breakdown of some of the bills that we are proactively pushing. But I wanted to kind of bring you up to date because a lot has happened since the last time we visited. Unfortunately, most of you had to deal with the devastating impacts of the winter storm and the resulting power outages and water boil notices and water line breaks and the myriad of other problems that Texans all over the state are facing. And if you've been paying attention, you can imagine it's caused quite a hullabaloo here at the Capitol, with the leadership of the Public Utility Commission, the ERCOT that regulates the Texas energy market, electricity market, all coming under immense fire, board members resigning, CEOs getting fired, multiple days of legislative hearings last week and the week before last, as legislators and the governor and lieutenant governor and speaker try to get to the bottom of what transpired. It's obviously made what was already a very different session dealing with the COVID pandemic. Now, whatever remaining oxygen there was in the debate and in the room, in the halls of the Capitol, has been sucked out with this winter storm disaster. And obviously it is affecting the bandwidth of the legislature, and we'll have to deal with that going forward. Certainly there's going to be reforms to the way our energy market's handled, the way electricity is delivered to houses in this state, the natural gas supply, and those sorts of things, and something that we obviously are paying attention to. But direct impact on us and what we've already been visiting with legislative offices about are the shortages of plumbers, the shortages of building materials as people are attempting to rebuild, and the other challenges that this unexpected and unprecedented event has caused. It's created a housing construction shortage, a building inspection shortage, a materials shortage that was already aggravated due to the pandemic and other things that has now been made worse, and something that we're going to have to deal with for the remainder of this legislative session. Speaking of the legislative session, the real work begins next week after the bill filing deadline is over. Committees in earnest are going to start hearing bills. The Senate just last week started referring bills, the House a few days before that. So committees now will start having bill hearings. The word continues to be that they will not be meeting as much or as many times as in sessions gone by because of space limitations and other health and safety protocols. And so we are expecting there to be less opportunities for bills to get heard. And so it's going to make what was already a daunting legislative challenge that much more difficult. But we're still engaged in the process. Urge you to continue to stay engaged. Please look for upcoming briefings as we approach 90 days of session and the next TAB meetings coming up in April. Rally Day on April 13th with the TAB meetings on the 14th and 15th after that. I want to thank those of you that joined us last week for our first ever virtual Rally Day briefing. I've heard a lot of good feedback from many of you, many of our members about the event, and it's something we're still adjusting to, but are trying to do our best in these times to provide information in a way that we can at least get it out to you if we can't be in person. So stay tuned, get signed up for Voter Voice on our TAB website if you'd like more information, and thank you for your engagement.